Hey, what's up, guys? In this video, we're going to be talking about cigars, testosterone, and the war on masculinity exposed. So let's get into it. Check it. If you don't know, there is a war on masculinity, right? There's a war on traditional masculinity. And here's the thing, right? Like, I am a person that tries to have a different perspective. At the same time, what makes men men is having a brotherhood, having, goals and objective. And, you see a lot of pages where, it's called like, one that I like is Masculinity Revival and all these different things. Here's what masculinity is. Masculinity is going to be different for every single person, right? But masculinity is going to the gym. Masculinity is being good with women. Masculinity is, being a good family man, having traditional values, but also knowing at the same time that you have to understand that we're living in a different time, right? And so you have to be traditional in your masculinity, but also know the way forward and who you are becoming, right? The reason why I add cigars and testosterone into that is because obviously you guys know that I am a ambassador for toxic masculine nutrition, right? So the base test testosterone natural supplement changed my life, right? I went from 325 pounds to now being 275 pounds, right? So that's the thing, right? And I add cigars in there. This is kind of my niche. I add cigars in there because I smoke cigars. That's what I do. And when I learned that cigars increase testosterone a little bit, then that's when I kind of brought everything together, right? And what I want to talk about today is that study that I talked about in one of my other videos, where it was that I believe it was done in either the 90s or the early 2000s, and basically men that smoked either cigarettes or cigars had about 18% more testosterone than the average person. And the new study that they came out with is that the men in the 1970s and their 60s, 70s, and 80s have more testosterone in their bodies than the men in the 20s and 30s and 40s now, right? So testosterone is a very big thing, but there is a war on masculinity. There's a war on traditional masculinity, and you have to understand that you have to be that person that exposes that, right? So that's why I bring cigars, testosterone, and masculinity all into one and create a voice for men that don't have that, right? And so because if it was up to society and the powers that be, they would forget about you. So, and also don't be afraid to reach out to me if you're struggling with things that, men struggle with, because the silent struggle can also lead to the death struggle. So, and then you're not here anymore, and that's that. So have a great day. Take care. God bless. I'll see you next.